If you have half a brain cell, you know why I'm here and what we're going over, so let's get into it. Frollo versus Silva and Xeno. B-tier fight. It's a great introduction to Crollo as a character. You get a nod from two characters that at least I perceive to be seen as strong. Silva, Killua's dad, Killua's prodigy. Silva leads the Zoldyke, so. And Xeno, his father, used to lead him. Still works. And it's just, you see some abilities from him too, which is like, all right, these guys are strong. And then they acknowledge that Crollo could have killed him. Great fight, great introduction. Gon versus Ginther. Oh, I hate to say it, but it's C tier. There's just, I can't really defend much about it because Gon's not stronger. He wins because of his strategy, which is great, and I love seeing that in some fights. But it's done better by fight on here, and overall, bad ending to a great arc. And it probably is because Ginther is just a mid character. He's a mid villain, so this is the fight I was talking about. Moro versus Leo, easily an A. This is where you see big brain strategy, what hunters can do even when their backs are against the wall. You see some of it throughout the series, but this is one of the like crowning moments of just pure smarts, and it's kind of a way of Togashi answering Killua's question that he had for Moro, which is, if someone's Nin just completely overshadows yours, now powers it, how can you win? And I mean, you gotta use that big brain that he's got. Obviously, Leo didn't completely trump him, but Gon versus Hisoka, one of my favorite fights in anime. From what I've seen, it doesn't get a lot of, well, it gets a lot of great reception, but not like top tier fights. Actually did a short, and I can't remember this one being popped in. Obviously, there's a lot of comments, but I'd have to go through them again. But from top of my head, this one was not a commonly posted one. It does great showing beginner Nin versus someone who has mastered what they have done. Beginner Nin that is, he's developing in a good way, and this is a good battle to introduce characters to what is to come. There's another battle that does that, but it shows the bad parts of it, and that is Castro versus Hisoka. I think it's a great fight, and Togashi does a great job at showing what happens when you use the Nin Infinity that is opposite of yours. And Castro, he was a strong character, but he may have stood a better chance. If obviously would have stood a better chance, but he would have been a lot stronger if he would just sunk the time into developing abilities that fit his affinity instead of going off the beaten path and going to what he was weak with. And I think it was a good fight showing what skill and mastery of your affinity against trying to find a cheap way to win, even though you're not strong in that. Goto versus Hisoka. It's interesting. Goto's ability is very interesting. It's no surprise at this point that this is his Nin ability, because obviously a lot of Nin abilities are shaped by what you use, what you like, what you have infatuation with in your life. And he likes coins, plays coin games, so makes sense. And Hisoka just, it was a bad matchup. It's just a bad matchup for a character that I feel like I was grown to like. I think I speak for everybody with that, but it was just a sad end for him. Fake Sam versus Zazan. I got some flack in my ranking the Phantom Troop video because I did not have Fei Tan too high up. And my reasoning was, that was just my opinion on character. What I thought about him. I think he was cool. And I don't. He's got a cool aesthetic, but that's it. And his Pain Packer ability, you see it against Zanzan. He has to use his strongest ability. Versus, yes, it's a stronger ant, but this ant is just physically strong. The armor just ups their physicality even more. And from what I see with Painpacker is if he takes too much damage, he's gonna die before he can use it. So it's good against opponents he knows he's stronger than. But if an opponent's too strong and can 1, 2, 3 shot him, he's gone. And in this arc specifically, there's a ton that can do that. What a great... Oh, hold on. What a great fight. Finally, we got the payoff. Togashi is not known for taking a break on a main plot point he has set up and going back to it too often. But this one put the ball on the tee, whacked that shit out of the park. It was a great fight. Krillo got Batman level prep time. Without it, I think Hisoka wins, but it was a great fight. You get to see a lot of different... It's a different fight for Hunter x Hunter, which is weird to say because a lot of Hunter x Hunter fights are very unique. But Krillo uses so much to his advantage. Shows why he's such a smart character and the strategy that's behind it. I was talking about Morello's strategy. Pretty sure Krillo had a year or some shit. He got Shadow Narc's ability. Pretty sure he got Cortobi's ability. He went and got the sun and the moon from the Elder and Meteor City. It was just so much planning, and obviously it worked, but all he did was make Hisoka stronger, and now we see how that's going. Yuppie versus Killua. It's a short fight, but Killua is such a cool character. He is my favorite character. And just seeing him get ticked off and tag this opponent that nobody's really been able to tag besides Knuckle being invisible, and him just doing it repeatedly. Obviously, it doesn't damage him because Yuppie has crazy and toughness. Yeah, toughness. I'm not endurance. But yeah, he just eats them, and then Killua was like, "Oh, out of charge," and just bolts away. I thought it has that little comic relief at the end, but you see what Killua could do at full strength, and obviously he tags Poof and Godspeed, but that's a different time. So I left these three for a reason. This fight was pretty emotional for me, not gonna lie. Call me what you want, but if you're trying to sit there and say you've never gotten emotional watching anime, I just simply don't believe you. Gon was so broken at this point, and just seeing him get the revenge for Kite was amazing, because Kite was an amazing character. People I've seen online, I haven't watched anime like commentary, review, any of that since I started uploading on YouTube, and that was last August. But when I was watching it, New World Review, he does a lot of Hunter x Hunter videos. He makes great videos, no shots taken at all. But he did have a video. Maybe it wasn't a dedicated video, but in some of his videos, he kind of indicates to Gon being selfish. And I simply just did not believe in that, because he had no option. If he doesn't use this all out, give me all my power now in exchange for my life, Killua was going to show up. They're both going to die. That's if Gon doesn't die before Killua gets there. And then P2 goes and helps the king. Yes, P2 could still get poisoned by being around the king too long, but this was his only option to survive, save his friends, because P2 could have offed everybody before, well, everybody at the castle before they would even die to the poison. So the Gon is selfish slander needs to stop. And after all that, it still is third best fight. Let me just put these both in here. Netero versus Miriam. It was a really great fight. It was kind of, in my opinion, the big fight in Hunter x Hunter. Yes, Gon versus P2 is the biggest for the story, but this was like the big, all-out, flashy, strongest versus strongest fight. Well, strongest we've seen. Netero said it's been a while since it's been at the pinnacle. So If the fight was great, Zero Hand being weaker than a bomb is cap, but I understand the message the guy she was trying to show, since Miriam was underrating humans. Even though in this fight, he did say, no, I see that some humans have value, but Netero, and obviously some people say that, I get intended, but I do like how it was humanity's creation that killed Miriam when he thought that only a few humans had exception, but nobody could touch him. Krupker versus Uvo again. If you know, you know. That's really all I can say about it. It's such a good fight. Nothing. I mean, I think it's that far ahead of the second and third place, just because it is the first kill we see Krupka get on the spiders. It was a fight that going into it, I thought Krupka was gonna lose. Yes, he brought the shovel, but I could have saw him losing and dying in this, or losing, someone saves him last second, especially after what we saw what he can do against the Shadow Beast. Yeah, Shadow Beast. It was just amazing. Story behind it, absolutely flawless. But there's one change I want to make. I'm gonna move that down to A, just because I feel like I have way too many in S tier. Well, as objectively, I put in A. My bias, it is my favorite fight in the series. All right, right behind God versus P2. But yeah, I'm gonna go and get out of here. I got some other Hunter x Hunter rankings. I got a Demon Slayer ranking as well. Go ahead and check this out. I'll put them on the screen, and you guys have a good one. Peace.